Okay, thank you. I'm Michael Burns from the Research Strategy Office at the University of Glasgow, but currently seconded into the University Estates function to try and push the opportunities in smart infrastructure coming out of the development of the new campus. Just one slide on who we are. I'm not quite sure how well this will show up, but the university is one of the ancients in the UK, founded 1451. It's in the global top 100, so it's a major research intensive university, has consistently been in the top 100 for the last few years, currently sitting about number 52. So it's a major institution in UK terms, and especially significant in a city like Glasgow, given the international reach of the organisation. A strong connection to the city centre. So the university sits just to the west of the city centre. If you don't know, it's about a 20-minute walk, so you may say it's pretty much within the reach of the main city. It's in a fairly dense historic urban settlement, so it's in the west of the city. It sits just in a Victorian Park campus, adjacent to the development of a new cultural quarter and bounded by the Tier 2 city centre for the west of the city. It's a popular district. It's the most expensive land in the city. It's where the most expensive houses are. And generally, it's quite a pleasant environment. So, for a university, it's got all the ingredients to work with a project of this size. Just schematically, there, the red bit is us. So that's the educational part of it. The blue is the commercial spine, which goes down Great Western, Byres Road, and then Dumbarton Road out to Partick. The orange colour is your high-quality residential, so it's townhouses and historic Victorian flats. And this purple shape, which is pushing through from the bottom, is the new cultural quarter, which is being created in the city. In that you will have the Kelvin Grove Museum, which outside of London is the 5th biggest tourist attraction in the UK. Next door to that will be the new Kelvin Hall, which will open in the summer. And around the corner, just out of sight, is the city's Riverside Museum. So in a walkable district, you have 4 major anchor locations. You have the historic Gilbert Scott building of the university, the Kelvin Hall, the Kelvin Grove, and the Riverside Museum. So as a district, you're beginning to look at some interesting things happening in the west of the city. From our point of view as a university, this is a time of major investment in higher education. Universities, it's just a point in time that universities are investing to capitalise on the international opportunities out there. What we have in our hands is an opportunity, a unique opportunity for a major UK university to expand a historic footprint. We're not the biggest development in the UK, but we're the only university that we know of who have this opportunity to push out from a historic Victorian footprint to consolidate all of our teaching and learning on one site. No one else that we're aware of has that. Other major universities have to go out of town. So our opportunities and our problems are about how you regenerate or transform or revitalise a historic Victorian estate. It's a one-off. We're not going to do this again. It's the biggest project in the university's history. It's the biggest project in the city by a mile. The value of this project just is many times greater than any other capital project in the city. And you'll probably find that in your own cities, once you look at what the higher education sector is up to, this is where the spend is at the moment. Local authorities won't be spending on capital beyond the city deal. And in the context of Glasgow, we reckon that our project, given the time frame and the value, is probably bigger than the city deal by a factor of 5, given the timeline that we're working to and then the value that we have to invest. We don't talk about it for some reason. We should be talking about it because it's a major opportunity for economic development and area transformation. So our key focus is, first of all, to develop the campus, but the bottom line for the business in the university is the student experience and the quality of teaching and research which comes out of there. So the project is complex. It touches on urban development, it touches on education, it touches on carbon, it touches on low impact development, it touches on transformation, on city vitality. And what we have to do in Glasgow is to make sense of this opportunity, because if we try to do all of these things, we won't be able to do any of them. Committed about £1 billion over the next 10 years. We're just about to enter year 2 of the project. As I said, we are not the biggest Edinburgh are coming in at 1.5 billion, maybe a year or two behind us on that one. And the other major universities in the UK are doing likewise. So Oxford and Cambridge are in a league of their own with this because of the funds and assets that they sit on. Collectively, bigger economics reckon that between now and 2020, the GVA on higher education spend for the Russell Group alone will be 50 billion. Now, the Russell Group is only the top 26 or 24 universities in the UK. With that, you've got about another 70 or 80 major universities, and then you've got the further education sector behind that. No one that we're aware of has actually added this up as yet, but I'm sure if someone does get round to it, it would be a significant investment in educational infrastructure in the UK at the same time as we are trying to develop a future cities sector or a smart sector or a low carbon sector. So in my mind, there's a major opportunity there to look at the convergences between these two phenomena to see where the benefits may be, because it is a point in time, it's not going to happen again, and if we don't do it now, then we won't get a second chance. This is the scale of it. If you don't know the west of the city, we cover about 280,000 square metres at the moment. That will then expand up to this grey patch at the bottom is the new site that we have taken on. This is the former hospital site, immediately adjacent to the university. This gives us about another, I don't know what the numbers are, but it takes us up to the equivalent of about 55 city blocks. And the interesting thing about this is that this is a single ownership. So this is university owned. The governance structure behind this is university led. And most interestingly, the funds are in place to develop this. So it's not a wish list, this is actually a pragmatic plan to develop the campus with the funds assured. And you'll find that this is the same situation across most of the other major UK universities. The new site will touch on this western quarter. The bit just to the right there is the ancient Victorian University. The green bit is the park. The building at the bottom is the Kelvin Grove. This kind of large exhibition area, one just to the left of it is the Kelvin Hall, and then just out of line of sight is the Riverside Museum. All of this white stuff that you see here will be the new development for the university, but they'll also have a major programme of retrofit and future-proofing on the historic estate. The main works will be in the demolition of the old western site, so pretty much everything we can take down will come down on that site, with the exception of some listed historic buildings that will just be too tricky to do anything with. So we've got a bit of a blank sheet on this one. The university campus, on a busy day, you're maybe talking about 35,000 people there. It's a big old place, there's a lot of footfall, lots of different types of movement across there, from students, from staff, from suppliers, and from local community, because we are bounded so tightly by the local community. How we develop this around the local community will be especially important, because we will make ourselves very noisy neighbours over the next 10 years by turning the west of the city into a building site. So what we do has to communicate and has to be negotiated with the host community, because we cannot do this as a freestanding institution. We are part of the West End, and we have to share the benefits of this campus development with the people that we live with. Creation of a new urban district, potential there to do something really interesting with this project in terms of revitalising an entire city quarter. Again, a picture of the scale of the buildings that will be going up there, and the concept of the smart campus that we have jointly developed with the Future Cities Catapult, with whom we've been working over the last year or so. On the main building, this will touch on comms, it will touch on energy, it will touch on the physical structure, which is where the whole project was conceived. But as we started to move along, we realised that the digital infrastructure was just as important, if not more important, to the university than the physical infrastructure, because underpinning all of this will be the quality of the student experience. And if we can't provide what students want, when they want it, to a very high quality, in an internationally competitive marketplace, they will choose to go elsewhere or walk with their feet. And it won't be in the UK, they'll go to Hong Kong University or to Melbourne, or they'll fly over us to North America. So from a business point of view, it's critical that the university invests in a very high quality, robust, resilient digital infrastructure. Very quickly, the main things that we are beginning to settle around as a university, I mentioned earlier that this has kicked up an enormous cloud of dust and any number of opportunities, but we have to be selective about how we move on with this. So the main ones we're looking at are on energy, on sensors and on construction innovation. And very quickly I'll kind of focus in on the energy because of the carbon side of it, but we have just commissioned a £24 million combined heat and power network for the university that we will continue to use as a research platform for ourselves and for our partners. We are developing a heating and cooling network based off the River Kelvin, which flows through our campus. We have a feasibility study underway with the Scottish Government into river source heat pump. We are looking at waste water thermal recovery from the main pumping station for the west of the city, which sits on our boundary. It's owned by Scottish Water, but Scottish Water Horizons are interested in working with us to recover this waste energy to feed into the university's network. We're looking at interseasonal thermal storage in the flooded mine workings under the university, so that when our turbines run for electricity in the summer, the waste energy does not go up a chimney, but it goes into the mine workings and then we'll pull that energy back out in the winter. We're looking at smart grids, on resilience, on smart grids, on efficiencies. We're looking at fuel cells. We're looking at network integration because quite possibly we could have an energy network for the university which is running off gas CHP, which is running off heat pumps, which is running off thermal recovery, which is running off energy recovery from the new data centre, which is also running off interseasonal thermal storage. Very complicated, but if it worked then it would be a major internationally visible statement of how you develop low impact projects in historic urban settings. If we can get this right in Glasgow, it will be of value to other historic universities and other historic cities who have the same problems as us. There's a couple of academics working around CO2 capture and energy generation and on energy supply and distribution. That's part of the bigger piece as well, is about how you use the university as the biggest institution in the west of the city. It's got the biggest budget, it's the biggest employer, it's the biggest everything in the west of Glasgow since the BBC and the hospital have departed. Big questions there about what is the university's mission in the city. Does it just exist to do research and teaching, or should it play a wider part in the social, economic, physical development of a western quarter? On sensors, the other thing we're trying to do, and very quickly through this, is develop a sensing campus. The kind of aspiration on this one is to have a campus which almost sits up as a central nervous system, so that we know what's going on in the campus in real time. We know how our buildings are being used, we know who's out there, we know what they're doing, we know why they're doing it, we know what we have to provide for them, we know what we don't have to provide for them, and from this intelligence we understand campus behaviour in a way that allows us to respond in real time, providing the efficiencies and the quality of student experience that goes with that. There will be immediate returns on that if we can develop efficiencies in the estate. Russell Group universities typically report building occupancy of less than 30%, and it's crazy. 70% of the estate is probably unused at any time, and that's the working day, 9 to 5. Stretch that over 24 hours, you've got a major asset that has been hardly touched. If you can get more informed and more intelligent about how you run that asset, then you can generate not only significant efficiencies, but a higher quality of service for the people who come to your campus. And the third piece there is around construction innovation. There's a real opportunity for the academics and for the contractors that we will work with over the next 10 years to try innovative and new efficiencies in the construction process, given the scale of what we're working at. These buildings that are going up, a capex of 70, 80, 90 million pounds, if we don't catch that process now, there's a danger that the people, the construction professionals, will cut out the risk and cut out the cost and miss the opportunity to innovate around construction innovation, and particularly low carbon construction innovation, just given the sheer size of what we are trying to do. So if we can get cleverer at that, we can cut our carbon footprint significantly, both in terms of the rebuilds and in the longer term life cycle of the estate. Very quickly, we're seeing this as more than just a capital development. There's a real opportunity here to reposition the university and to rethink the role of a university in the development of a city. The University of Glasgow, in a city like Glasgow, is one of the key assets of the city. The city is still fundamentally weak in many areas of labour market and health and other indicators, but the University of Glasgow is an international institution that pulls in thousands of talented young people on an annual basis. The trick is to capture that talent and to nurture it within the city and to populate the city with the international flows that will come to it. Very quickly on the last slide is the summary. It's a time of major investment. There's a load of money getting spent on educational infrastructure. In my mind, it's a real opportunity to find ways to converge the Future Cities agenda or the smart agenda or the low carbon and energy agenda around this phenomenon. Because if we don't do it now, it's not going to come back. This is a one-off. And in our sense, it's the biggest project the university has ever undertaken. It's bigger than the original construction of the university. Largest project in the city region, an opportunity to work with suppliers, to work with fellow academics, to work with the city authorities around a project of this significance. Key objective is to strengthen campus facilities and the student experience. Again, our business case rests on high quality learning and teaching and student experience. And increasingly we see the role of the university campus as probably more social than academic, given that the needs of most students can be reached by one of these things wherever they are in the world. Unless you can develop a very compelling case to come to campus, your business model has got a problem, because another campus will make a more compelling case for you to go there. And when our market is full fee paying international students, by definition these people are mobile. So the quality of the campus experience is essential, it's critical to what we do. And finally, a project of this size sits up as internationally significance for demonstration. So we are happy to talk to or work with anyone in the room who has got ideas or processes or systems or particular products that they think might apply to a project of this size, or indeed be of interest to the academic community that is gathering around us, not just our own, but from other universities in the UK who are all in this space at the moment. So that's been a very quick kind of run through of what we're trying to do in Glasgow. I'll be about for the next hour or over lunch if anyone wants to follow up with me directly. But thank you very much for your time, and hope they found it of interest. Thanks. Thank you.